The rise in colorectal cancer cases for those under the age of 50 continues to climb at an alarming rate, with some patients dismissing symptoms for something else or simply not experiencing symptoms at all. It's one of the biggest reasons I've chosen to highlight this issue in hopes we can bring change. Joining us this morning to share their experiences with this disease are Jeff Reholman and Daniel Garfinkel. Gentlemen, welcome to CP24 Breakfast. I'm so grateful that you guys wanted to join us today.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having us.
It's wonderful.
And sharing this awareness and whatnot, you know, how younger people are getting this disease and not aware that they're getting it.
Yeah, well, that's part of the conversation we're going to have. And I want to talk about your stories because as individual as they are, you guys kind of share the same story. You guys were both diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Jeff, why don't we start with you? If you can kind of give us like a Coles Notes version of how your journey started when you knew something was just off.
I didn't know anything was off. I went into the hospital because my heart rate was up, and thank God for the overnight emergency doctor who felt my stomach and said, there's something going on here. And sent me for a CT scan and then sent me for a colonoscopy. And that's where they found out what was going on. Like, I didn't know. And this is the problem with this disease, is that you don't realize that it's happening to you, right?
It's been deemed the silent killer for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And this is some of the conversation we've been having, is there are a lot of people under the age of 50 who wouldn't normally get screened, but also don't have symptoms. Yeah. In your case, Daniel, very different. You did have some symptoms. Can you tell us about your story?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're here, so to really raise that awareness. So, I had noticed a blood in my stool, and shortly after my daughter was born, and really found that it was troublesome, and went to go take a look, and I didn't really, I chalked it up to different hours, being up late with my daughter, everything being a little bit different, and really in my brain justified why it was happening. Didn't get too worried about it, and then it didn't change. The symptoms prevailed, and went to go see the doctor, I would say about 2 months later. And was misdiagnosed by my GP, and which apparently is a
same. Yeah, it's a similar
very
thing.
Common.
Yeah.
This is a very common thing that I'm hearing, and it's shocking and it's alarming. It's very troublesome.
Absolutely.
But then after that, what happened?
So again, symptoms persisted, and was asked to go see a specialist. I said, enough is enough. Let's get some answers here. And the specialist took one look, and right away, without telling me, because there was no biopsy results, there was no anything, use keywords like treatment plan and all of those, very red flag-ish words, I would say. And I was diagnosed with rectal cancer shortly thereafter, had a colonoscopy, the biopsy came back and everything was confirmed, and then just really launched into about a year's worth of treatments, radiation and chemotherapy, and a pretty big surgery as well.
And so you guys are kind of on the other side of your journeys. You're still going through stuff. This is by no means over, but you're obviously well enough to come and share your story. Can we talk about where you found support, if you found any during your journey? Because having a support system, this is a family disease. It's a huge thing. Where did you find your support?
I mean, I found my support just through my friends and family. Like I was in hospital, since last July until February, 70 days in and out of hospital. So just having people come and visit and whatnot was amazing. I'm a big believer that positivity is half the battle. So finding out what was going on and then trying to be like, I will beat this, was half of the battle for me. I don't know, the same for you.
For me, it was family. I mean, my wife Carly is an absolute rock and champion and superstar. And as I mentioned, we just gave birth to, or my wife gave birth, obviously, to our daughter. And when you're playing with an 18-month-old, a 12-month-old, nothing else is going on in the world, right? So as crazy as or as bad as the days may have been, to get that time with her really made everything else fall away. And obviously my wife's family and my family, it's calling it a family disease could not be more appropriate. It's exactly what it is. It affects everyone around you. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to get someone through cancer as well. Like,
Absolutely.
this is something that we know for sure now.
Listen, I always say there's never enough time to talk on these segments because we can go on and on. There's so much awareness. I know there's messages. I know today you guys have touched a lot of people.
Bum run.
The bum run is coming up.
Bum
April
run's
27th.
coming up.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. But listen, I want to thank you both for joining us, and I'm hoping that people really take this message seriously to get their colonoscopies, get screened, and have the awareness that we're raising. It saves lives.
People are afraid of that, drinking that water that gets them ready for everything. And you know what? It's like 6 hours of...
It's not that scary, right?
No.
Yeah, I know.
In the end run, it's not
Well
like
worth it.
it
It's worth it. Saved your
sucks
life.
at that time.
Absolutely.